and we are on the air. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Curses, also maybe Vampires, which is our first of two Curse of Strahd sessions for the evening. I am your host, DJ Misha, aka DM Misha, and tonight we have my Scooby Gang group in my 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. time slot. Apologies for the late start. We were just having an impromptu jam session slash first concert, and it was pretty fucking wild. Maybe someday you will be graced upon the ears with hearing the musical stylings of our resident artists here. But thank you for anybody tuning in tonight. We greatly appreciate it. And we are going to go ahead and get started with our session for the evening. We are running Curse of Strahd. This is the first of two different groups that I'm running. And this group will be the milder set of things for those of you who might not want to get too deep into the horror pool. There still will be some scary moments at times, but it's nothing that you're going to have to worry about trigger warnings for. And it will always be, with, as most of my campaigns are, a dose of comedy. We actually got started with this group a little bit last time in session 0. I just didn't happen to broadcast it because I didn't know we'd actually be playing, and I kind of forgot to do that. But general gist of things is our little group of 4, soon hopefully to be 5 once they get to where this other person is at, has stopped in a roadside tavern for various reasons. None of them know each other, or rather none of them knew each other when they stopped here, but they were all drawn together when a mysterious stranger burst through the door begging for aid and throwing a coin upon the ground to beseech any adventurers who would assist him in returning to his homeland of Barovia with him to speak with the burgomaster of the Barovian village. And then he proceeded to buy them drinks for the evening and food, and everybody ate and drank what they wanted before heading off to bed. Kira, being one of those people who had to be physically removed from the bar and dragged off to bed, and once there, when our good boy Arthur Wolf fell asleep, snuck downstairs to go drink more and fall asleep under a table. Now it is morning, although no one can really tell that it is morning because the mists are still clouding so fiercely around the window panes and spilling up onto the porches and around the doors of this inn that it's quite unusual and unseasonable for this time of year. The first person to awake from their slumber is actually going to be... Everybody roll me a perception check. And Kira with a disadvantage because you've got a fucking hangover.
Do I though? Do I?
You do.
What if I am actually waking up still drunk?
That would be even worse. You would still have disadvantage.
Well, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about.
Oh, look, it didn't even matter either way. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and roll Rob's for him. Nicholas Weaver, our resident tabaxi gentleman, is still logging on, switching over from his car phone to his actual computer, so he'll be here in a few. Oh, man, that really emphasizes the whole cat nap aspect of things. So the first one to actually awaken from their slumber is going to be, let's see, Namari is Ghana, right?
Nimari and Sgananium
Yep, both
are gone.
gone. Namari is gone. Alrighty, so Gon, you're actually the first person to wake up in the quote unquote morning, mostly because you're used to, if you do sleep during the night, getting up early in order to protect yourself from the sun a little bit so you don't have any repercussions from that. So you are the first to awaken and to notice that the mists are obscuring the sun so much that it is not an issue for you at all.
All right, I push my cap a little higher on my face and I go, nice weather today. Maybe I will come along after all. What's keeping those sleepyheads?
And if you choose to, you can go wake them up if you want.
I'm gonna look around and do I spot Kira under a table?
With a 18, yes, you definitely do. You spot Kira drunk as a skunk wrapped around a barrel at the bar.
I thought we took you upstairs. I'm gonna check for a pulse. Cause, wow, that was a lot of drink.
That'll be a medicine check, if you please.
I'll try. Oh, wait, I am a wisdom based character, that's fine.
Yeah, with a 17 medicine check, let's see.
Hello.
Hey, Rob. There is our Nicholas Weaver who will be taking over their person pretty soon from my person. So I'm just going to exit out of their stat block. Let me take a look at you really quick. Da 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 da, Kira. Kira. Yeah, so his pulse is pretty fine. You can tell from looking at him though that he was pretty intoxicated last night. He might be intoxicated this morning too if you wake him up. It's a 50-50 shot at this point. You are not entirely you're not entirely sure um, if he's going to wake up sober.
Well, better than dead. I'm just gonna, yeah, I guess I'll just leave him there to keep sleeping off all that because if he wakes up, he'll probably just start again. So I'm just gonna take a seat at the table and keep an eye on him.
Alrighty. So while you are sitting down downstairs, keeping an eye on Kira while you wait for the other three people to wake up and come downstairs, Nicholas, you you awaken upstairs from a decently good sleep. And you're actually in one of the many bunked rooms that the tavern holds where just people can go and just like sleep for the night because that's what was paid for. And you notice that the bunk that you and Arthur had taken Kira to last night is empty, but also so is the bunk that the gentleman from the faraway land had occupied the night before. And upon it, there is a small pack and a note.
I would like to inspect the note.
Alrighty. As you reach over and pick up the note, about this time is the time that Arthur as well would wake up in a bunk not too far off from your own.
Arthur would probably check for Kira and not finding him, kind of look around a little panicked. Where did he go? Is he all right? Do you think? Where is? Where are our charges? This too addressed to Nicholas.
Ah, well, I'm not sure where the drunkard is. However, our would-be employer has vanished, leaving a pack and this note. Or more so, the messenger boy for our said employer.
What does the note say?
Good
And,
question.
So you open the note, and it's in a far different handwriting than the note that you had received the night before. Obviously written by somebody completely different, which is confirmed with the signature at the bottom, that this was written by the messenger that you spoke with previously. And it says, going on ahead to let them know that you're coming. Will prepare things at the manor for you. Please find enclosed a map and food to get you there.
And that's all it says.
Yes.
Seems like
Seems,
he didn't want to wait for us.
It seems as much as so. I guess life of an errand boy is rather busy, it seems.
I'm going to check on the tankard, as you called him, just in case he's in trouble again. And Arthur kind of thunders down the stairs in his armor. Very, very not sneaky.
And you've only been watching.
I just want to go.
Sorry, go ahead.
Gon just kind of holds up his hands and goes, I just want to go on the record that I am not responsible for this mess. And points down at Kira.
And
Uh,
you've only been watching Kira a couple minutes. By the time Arthur and Nicholas come downstairs, as you've only been watching him a couple minutes.
Mm. But a bit intimidated as this heavily armored wolf boy comes charging down the stairs. Just like, I did not feed him anything. I did not give him anything to drink. He was like this when I found him.
Is he all right?
He's
Do you
not dead.
think- Oh, that's good to hear. Do you think we should wake him up? He wanted to come with us, I think.
He did.
Maybe some breakfast would do him good.
Yeah, he did go after the money.
Speaking of which, and you see a serving woman come out from the back door right here, to the bar itself. He's racked up quite a tab. Are you gonna pay it for your friend there?
Search him. I'm not paying shit. I'm gonna
Arthur
start going
kind
through
of
his
looks
pockets.
around nervous, as he doesn't really have a lot of allowance, and he gave the gold to the others. I'm not actually sure who has the gold pouch at the moment.
I believe he gave it to Nicholas.
okay. And that was the gold pouch. I don't think I was told how much that was in there.
So currently there is 50 gold inside the gold pouch.
Okay.
And you were
And by
promised twice that amount if you would come to Barovia.
Okay. And by friend, does he mean a messenger or Kira?
She nodded to Kira, passed out on the floor, wrapped around a barrel when she said it.
Ah, okay. I would have also suggested to search Kira if he is still unconscious.
Oh, I'm searching.
Alrighty. Kira, your pockets are currently being rifled through by Gana, and Gana, you go ahead and roll an investigation check, and Kira, you go ahead and roll a perception check to see if you wake the fuck up.
Can I wait? I think I have guidance. Can I give myself guidance?
You can give yourself guidance.
All right.
Oh gosh.
I don't think I have that set up, so I'll just add a d4. Investigation.
Might need
D4.
that.
So 9.
So you're rifling around in his pockets. You're not finding anything. You reach for what you think might be a change purse, and it is at that moment that Kira, you feel hands upon your waist searching your valuables, and you jostle slowly from your torpor.
Yeah, Kira's going to hug the person that is searching his pockets and then roll on top of him and then vomit
Oh.
to the side.
Okay.
Arthur kind of stumbles back away from them, a little flabbergasted and not quite sure what to do.
Okay, so this is technically a grapple. I'm gonna need you both to roll contested strength checks first to determine if the whole hugging and rolling actually happens.
It's
Oh Jesus!
acrobatics or athletics, right? I'm fucking screwed.
It's athletics or strength. I would allow either, but because they're basically the same thing.
I thought it was acrobatics or athletics.
Acrobatics would be if you were trying to dexterously dodge somebody. You are physically on top of him right now, searching him. You don't get that. You get strength. If you were a little bit further away or something and he was lunging at you, yeah, I would say acrobatics or just plain dexterity. But
I just thought those were the rules of grappling.
so sometimes it just depends on what proximity you are to the person. Since you are already in physical contact with him, like literally bending over him, trying to search him, then this is going to be strength because he's literally right there.
I disagree, but I am not the GM, so I'll take the L.
Okie dokie. I thank you for being gracious about it.
Athletics. Oh man, that was actually pretty good though.
It does
You
actually.
both roll
shame.
natural
Don't
19s.
Don't you still have guidance on you, or is that that's a single?
That's a
single
one-time thing,
Yeah.
I think.
Darn.
Ah,
Darn.
Could have saved it for that one.
I like how they both rolled a natural 19 now.
Okay, so here's how this works. You do manage to pull back far enough that the only part of you that he is grabbing is going to be your arm, which he is hugging. And you see him flail about on the ground, hugging your arm before vomiting to the side. None of it gets on you, thankfully. But he is now hugging your arm like a teddy bear. Your entire body is not underneath of him, though, which would have been very awkward.
The author would have stumbled back, possibly like towards my direction. I would have been like, and this is why I don't really associate myself with such rabble.
But aren't we supposed to help those? I feel really out of my depth.
Hey, Wolf, sir, you know how you like to help people in need? Help! Help!
Arthur,
Okay.
seeing a concrete action to take, steps in and tries to entangle Gan, and Kira tries to free Gan and tries to avoid the puddle.
You avoid the puddle pretty easily, and you start about the process of distangling Kira and Gan. And Kira, are you still trying to hang on to that arm, or are you allowing it to slip free of your grasp?
It totally goes free. At
Oh.
this point, he's more concerned about not throwing up on anyone.
That's a pretty big concern, yes. Alright, so yeah, Arthur, you easily peel off Kira, who is currently kind of retching and looking green about the gills, just trying not to throw up again.
Would I have some kind of knowledge of maybe not hangover cures because of his upbringing, but like things for nausea, like
This-
ginger or something that I could?
This would be a
Ask
medicine
for-
or a history check. I would veer on the side of medicine if you are proficient in it. History if you're trying to just recall some kind of information that someone may have given you at some point about how to treat nausea.
Let's try history, if it's possible.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
Oh no. So
Arthur is really, really out of his depth.
your ears
Like
are
he grew
flicking
up
forward.
amongst in a monastery. People didn't drink themselves blind drunk there.
You've never been in this position before. You've never had to assist a drunkard. Your ears are flicking forward and back. You're just unsure of exactly how to handle the situation. You don't know what to do for him.
Well, as far as I can tell, he does not have any money, but he is very full of vomit. So if this place takes vomit as payment, we're good. If not, shit out of luck.
Arthur awkwardly pats Kira's back.
Kira will try to regain himself and be like, there'll be that pause that I just had there, and then he'll be like, "What are you doing?" And then he'll point towards God in my pocket.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Oh god.
Well, I was trying to pay the good waitress there, but doesn't look like you got much unless you've got other secret pockets that I did not get into, which
He
is entirely
turns.
possible.
He turns and holds his mouth, and then he holds a finger up with his other hand. And then he takes his hand away from his mouth, and he's like, "The wood guy was supposed to pay for our drinks and food."
And it would seem he has left us shit out of luck with half of what he promised to pay. And
Oh no.
saying that he was leaving ahead of us to, what was it?
It was to prepare for your arrival in the village of Barovia.
And yeah, so he left with half it was promised. Do we remember last night that the coin purse is about the same size or weight, or is it lighter than last night?
The coin purse is the same amount that you had retrieved from him last night. There is also a pack that he indicated in his letter that is filled with rations and also a map of where you're supposed to be going. And he promised you that upon arrival to Barovia, you would get twice what is in the coin pouch currently.
Okay.
And the waitress pipes up a bit. Actually, your man did pay for drinks last night before he left. Well, rather, really, really early this morning. It just so happens that yon bairn there, and she nods at Kira, came down to drink after he had already paid and left. He couldn't really do much for that, could he?
How much do I owe?
15 silver.
Has about 10 silver and 10 candles.
She stares at you, but go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
Arthur kind of awkwardly hovers, not sure if he should cut in,
How
because he
about
realizes that he actually has enough money to help out, but kind of awkwardly keeps like stepping forward with a finger held up and then stepping back and stepping forward with taking a deep breath and then stepping back again.
how about 15 silver and you clean up the vomit on the floor you've left?
I don't think you want me to do that because there might be more before we leave. But I can give you 15 silver. And he puts 2 gold pieces on the table.
She picks up the gold pieces and puts them in her apron pocket.
Oh dear.
He will then very, very slowly try to get up.
She obviously keeps the extra 5 silver that would have been changed for cleaning fees.
Arthur immediately steps in, tries to support and steady Kira, and stir him away from the puddle.
Yeah, I'm getting out of vomit range.
It's probably a
Wait,
good
how
idea.
far is vomit range?
Well, if we're going by
Oh.
acid spray rules, it's 30 feet. Ah. He just gets out of there before Kira can exorcist anything else up out of that gullet.
I was too close for comfort.
Is that actually a ruling?
No, that was supposed to be funny. Unless he is possessed by a ghost, I'm not going to make him projectile vomit 30 feet. Which, I mean, that's a real possibility for the future, you guys. The future, but currently, you're just at an inn, not actual Barovia.
Oh, fun.
But
Keep
soon,
the alcohol away from
soon.
Kira.
Hashtag soon.
Alrighty. Well,
Arthur starts to stir him towards the exit. Harry, perhaps we should get on the road as soon as possible.
Yeah, it smells terrible in here. Let's go.
You hear a small string of what sounds like elven curses come from this woman as she goes to fetch a mop and bucket.
when
What if
you
he-
said string, I was expecting crossbow, like the tightening of a crossbow.
Yeah,
mean,
man.
she
Let's hear it.
does
Let's see what she
have-
says.
She does have a hand crossbow underneath there. Well, what she says is something to the effect of your mother having sex with several pigs.
Oh, do I know that? Do I know Elvin?
Oh, I do too.
I don't know if I know. Oh, no, I don't.
Well, those of you who do know Elvish,
I think so.
hear a very detailed description of how Kira's mother came to conceive him through her deep love of farm animals, particularly hogs.
Oh gosh. I'm very glad Arthur does not speak Elvish. He would probably drop Kira from the sheer embarrassment of hearing such curses.
Um.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
worse too because it's in such a beautiful, fluid language like Elven. It just sounds like Valarash Shalaen or something like that. And then here's this lovely descriptor spilling from betwixt her lips.
And
Oh, those are much too kind words. I respond in Elvin. And then I would yes, we should leave back in common. Thankfully our what's the word for someone hiring except for employer? Like not
Benefactor?
patron, but what?
Benefactor?
Yeah, us. Yes, thank you. Our benefactor, Argyle, has provided a map that take us to where we need to go.
Is that circle supposed to be the vomit?
That's the vomit.
Is that
I realized that. I realized that, and I would have gone this way instead.
Oh, Lord above. All right. So, you have thoroughly offended the barmaid, and, well, one of you has thoroughly offended the barmaid, so much to the point of cursing. What the fuck are you putting in the puke circle?
I'm learning. Hold on. There we go.
I'm concerned.
We have
There we go.
Great.
Oh
It
my
looks
God.
looks like a pit to a vomit hell. Thanks.
That's the bog of stench.
No. Labyrinth references. Am I gonna have to put a David Bowie-esque character inside of Barovia
Yes,
just for you guys?
please.
Fine. I will make a maze that you will all get lost in just for you. Just for you.
I've never wanted anything more.
It's everything you ever want.
I will head out the door,
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
being
So
thoroughly done with this shit.
We have something in common.
are you making more puke puddles? Stop it.
No, I
Oh,
was trying to click on my character.
Fucking hell.
All right. So, as you guys step out of the door, opening it causes the mists to swirl around you in an encompassing wall that reaches almost as tall as you are, even standing at the top of the steps. You can see the vague flicker of the torches that have never been extinguished since last night that kind of highlight the door, kind of lone posts in the darkness. Um, as you step out into the mists, carrying the backpack that you were given, containing the map and the rations, and you are now upon the road. What do you wish to do, and where do you wish to go?
Um,
Walk?
yeah,
Barovia.
follow the map to the best of our abilities.
Alright. So you pull out the
Is
map.
was there any carriage that this guy left, or did it seem like he just booked it here on foot?
So that's going to be a survival check to see if you can find tracks from him.
Okay.
Can I aid or help, or I don't know the
Yep, you can either roll
relevant
your
action?
Yep, you can either roll your own survival check and try to assist that way, or you can just assist him in searching for the tracks, which would be a help action, and he could have a +2 to his roll.
Okay.
While we're standing here, you just see Kira raise an
help.
arm, and then he starts singing, "Do you want to build a snowman?"
Oh dear.
What?
Okay.
I'm not sure mist heralds sufficient snowfall for building snowmen. Arthur takes it too literally.
I don't know. I think he can make pretty good ones.
Okay. I'll roll my regular survival. I don't know if I'm being aided or not.
8 did. Oh dear.
Oh, you were aiding? Okay.
I should have rolled my own.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
+0, but I
You
don't like
still-
sharing modifiers.
I have a +2, so.
You can still do that if you want to roll your own, considering.
Okay,
It's
I'll
better than
try
a
that then.
-1.
Yeah, never mind.
So both
Arthur
Nicholas,
is really busy holding Kira up.
yeah, both
on his
Nicholas and Arthur kind of cast about trying to find tracks that were recent from this gentleman, and you are not able to find any human tracks whatsoever. Strangely enough, you find a couple of wolf tracks, which is odd, especially around an inn like this. But no tracks from a human male.
Who finds the wolf track? Oh, I guess both of us do.
Well, since
Uh,
since Arthur is professedly holding Kira up, you notice the wolf tracks first. They don't seem to be very recent, but they are strangely around an inn, which is odd.
like how close to the entrance, roughly?
About here, where the light fades.
Um, can I see if these are like normal, average, everyday wolves, or
Nature check.
nature, which that's better than my survival. There we go.
So, yes, they do appear to be normal sized wolf tracks. They have paws that are consistent with just being slightly larger than a regular dog's would be. So they're not especially large wolves, but there do appear to be quite a few of them, so it must have been a pack passing through.
Is there any sort of organization to these, or are they like just wild and not organized?
I mean, no wolf tracks would really ever be described as organized, if we're going to be honest here. They don't.
I'm thinking like if there were maybe like bobsled wolves somehow, or not
Oh,
bobsled.
no. They do not appear to be running in tracks, in tandem, in like a
Yeah,
straight
that
line or anything like that. They
okay.
do appear to be unharnessed, free range moving wolves,
Okay, yeah,
and not to have a
that's
specific focus to their destination. It's just
okay.
pack of wolves passed too close to the inn. Kind of odd, but not especially worrisome.
We
Oh,
should be
I
careful proceeding, but should be fine.
yeah. I don't see any tracks from our benefactor if he did indeed leave this way. However, there has been a pack of wolves oddly close to this tavern coming through.
I'll come up and just have a look. Huh. Well, that's odd. Hey, you, seem like you're a take charge kind of fellow. And I'll just kind of clap Nicholas on the shoulder and give you, I think it's this one, Vigilant Blessing. Why don't you take point? So you get advantage on your next initiative roll.
Ooh.
Okay.
And is there like a time limit to that, or like how long, like if I don't use it after a certain amount of time, or is this just stagnant until my next initiative?
It's until your next initiative or until I cast it on someone else.
Okay, that's
a
really
good one.
cool.
It is cool.
Nice.
Just as long as I can remember to use it whenever it gets used up.
Okay, that's really cool.
So you haven't been able to find any tracks that seem to relate to your benefactor, but you do still have that map.
Okay. I would have given like a small side eye to the touch on the shoulder, but then um uh go back to a more neutral face, realizing that there's more of a swiftness to my nature now. If I can sense that or feel that somehow.
You do know that there was a magical effect put upon you, and you do feel a lot more energetic, as though you can move a little bit faster.
Okay, well, thank you very much for this little
Boon.
this boon. Yes, thank you. And then I would pull out the map and start going forward, following the map to our abilities.
All right, go ahead and roll me a survival check.
Oh, fun.
And anybody else who's looking at the map can also try their hand at that if they wish, or provide aid.
Sure, I will.
Arthur.
Wait, hang on.
Arthur is pretty good at looking over people's shoulder, kind of glancing.
Please don't be garbage. Okay, thank
Oh
God.
no!
Arthur
Okay.
rips the map in half.
Roll20 hates me tonight. Good to know.
I rolled the map and hit him on the nose.
You're breathing
I'm
down my neck.
joking.
No, bad dog.
I'm joking.
He bristles and steps away, kind of puffed up.
I'm picturing a very irate Pomeranian. Give us an hour hour.
God, no.
I can make my dog do it. Where's she at?
Oh god.
Yuki.
Oh,
So
God.
torture an actual dog?
No, if I howl, she'll howl with me.
I might need that later.
I can do the howl. I practiced this for an ability, but
Okie doke. But anywho, yeah, you are able with a 14 and let's see, guidance. Go ahead and roll that d4.
Me or
Oh.
Nicholas? It was for Nicholas.
Yeah, you, Nicholas, roll the d4.
Okay, cool. Let me do that. 1, so
50.
15.
Well, that's okay because the DC was 15.
Yay!
Yeah, so
Yay.
it's a rather
Teamwork.
old. It's a rather old map. It looks like it was written centuries ago, honestly. But it's made of very sturdy velium. It feels almost like it might be very thin leather, really. And it is detailed by being burned into the material, so it doesn't really fade. It's just like a light stroke of flame has touched it to create the pictures upon it. And you can
Nice.
see that there is a large map of a sort of valley-like land with a large lake to the far north and several small settlements marked out upon it, as well as roads traced out in black charring. And there are several small settlements upon it, spaced very widely apart. And this is pretty much what the map looks like right here.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So
Uh,
this is what the map looks like, and you see in the far southeastern corner, circled in what looks like a little bit more recent marking, what might have been a bit of charcoal perhaps from the fire hearth, is the village of Barovia. And written beneath it, also in charcoal, which can easily be wiped off later if need be, instructions for you to head due east along the road from your current location, and that you would see the turnoff maybe 4 or 5 miles hence to get to Barovia.
okay. Then seeing that, looks like we have to go a handful of miles east. Should only be a few hours if the information on this map is correct.
It's not too bad.
And I'm just going off of that because I had to walk 5 miles yesterday in about 2 hours.
Walk 500 miles and I could walk 500 more. All right. Anywho, you now have a bearing, and you guys gonna head in that direction?
No, we're going the complete opposite way.
Oh, as it should be. All right, so you get to the coast and you find Waterdeep. You're gonna go ahead and raid the dungeon of the Mad Mage. Just dump down that fucking well and fight some trolls and become the heroes of yore. Fuck Barovia, we're out.
I hope you prepared all that. All right. Yes, we're going down the road.
Alrighty.
Do we happen to know if the road we're on is that old Swallich road?
As indicated by the note, the turnoff that you are going to come to is probably going to be Old Swalvich Road.
Okay.
So you are
Oh, so the
currently
turnoff is roughly 4 miles away.
the turnoff is roughly 4 miles away, and once you
Okay.
make the turnoff, then you will be heading towards Barovia. So they did not indicate any particular landmark that would indicate the turnoff in their note, but I guess you'll just have to see.
Okay. So then I would rephrase that, like, so it doesn't necessarily say how long this entire journey will be, but we head east until a turnoff roughly 4 miles away.
Sounds
Alright,
good
well.
for me. Please lead the way.
Yeah.
And we'll start walking then, I guess.
Alrighty. So you guys start off down the road. Anybody who would like to keep an eye out for anything in the area can go ahead and roll perception checks as you walk. And what's our marching order?
Considering I
I'm
have the
behind
map,
Nicholas.
You got Nick in the
I
front,
guess
kinda
we're
behind.
bringing up the back then.
You're probably carrying him anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So you start off down the road, one of you carrying a little bit more weight than the others. It is quite difficult to see through the mists that seem to have suffused the world this morning, and even though you can sort of feel the warmth of the sun breaking through them ever so slightly as it climbs higher in the sky, you never actually see it, just the slight variation of warmth from one direction or the other of the mists above. And it never gets bright enough to actually affect Gon, which is quite unusual for you, Gon. You're not used to mists being this enveloping. It
I'm
also,
digging this.
yeah, they've also started kind of extending above as the day is causing them to try and rise and evaporate, but they never actually seem to evaporate as you're walking along. Kira's null. um, but you continue on in this way for a good 2 hours or so. It's very quiet. Every once in a while, Nicholas, you think that you might hear something off to your left or right, but they're always very small, very faint noises that you almost immediately dismiss as things like perhaps a rabbit or a squirrel in the tree. They're never anything that would cause you concern. The only thing that is concerning to you is how easily it would be for you to miss the turn in Mist this heavy. So you keep very attentive, looking for the turn off that you are supposed to come across. And it's about not yet noon, but also not very early in the morning any longer when you come across what must be the turnoff that was spoken of, because looming quite heavily out of the mists, you see several large walls, but they look kind of as though they are broken down. They are to your right as you stand upon the road, and they sort of loom out of the mist. Just two large statuesque features making up the butt of them, with an archway underneath that has to be at least 20 feet tall, so high that it's almost out of your vision considering the mists. You see pieces of broken rock scattered here and there along the side of the road, and a sort of curve as the road diverges towards it and also continues on ahead.
Okay. Does the map indicate which way we should turn onto this turn off?
The map indicates that there is a large structure, particularly right here, that looks as though it might be the gate that you see here. It's not detailed enough to know for sure, but it does look as though it might be the large wall and portcullis that the map has been indicating.
And then just to be certain, can I roll survival or something to see if it has been roughly 4 miles that we've been
Yes.
walking?
Yes, you can. I don't know. I mean, it might be. It's been about 2 hours, so, like, probably? Fuck, what am I, a compass?
See, I know
Um,
2 hours is roughly the amount of time it takes, but I don't know if my character knows that.
Exactly. This is your inner monologue right now.
Arthur kind of leans Kira against one of the gate posts and examines them, because they seems to be some weird ruins, and those usually have a history of some kind that might tell them about if it's the right road and just generally where they are going.
Oh, sure. You can go over
If
to
that's
them and see if you can
possible.
make a history check.
Yeah. And then, despite me not really knowing how many miles I've walked or we've walked, I would between the
Um,
map and the structures, I was like, well, it seems like this is the direction we need to go now.
what should I
And
roll to learn more about the
That'll be history check.
history? Okay. Please, please, please.
Ooh, that's a good
Yes.
one. All right. So, you don't know anything really about Barovia, But you do know that these are quite old. Very old, in fact. Probably about as old as the map that Nicholas has in his hands. And you can tell some of the stylization of inscriptions, which you cannot read, by the way, that is going around the base of these two large, half broken statues. You can tell that it is written in roughly the same hand as several of the landmarks indicated on the map are. So, whatever these are, they do seem to be related to the map that Nicholas currently holds, just as a general observation. Without knowing the actual history of Barovia, it's not easy to determine whether it truly is Barovian, but at the same time, you know that it's not anything else you've come across. And the
Mhm.
Can
closest thing you've
Kira
got
read
to
it?
it's that map.
Um, what language is the inscription in? Can we know that? Because I mean, I
So let
just
me check what
no.
your language proficiencies
Might be.
are. Celestial.
Can I read it?
Nope, you
Since
cannot.
I'm up on it.
Nope,
Damn it.
I don't know.
no, you cannot. At
I
least not
don't know
with
how to
yours.
ping all my languages.
Oh, say what?
I don't know how to ping all my languages at the same time. Like,
Oh, okay. I can just look at your character sheet. It's cool. Arthur.
Whenever you're on your languages on the bottom left,
yeah,
you hit the
I
cog
edit
next
them
to
one
it.
by one. So
Oh, here
Yeah,
we go.
you enter it one by one.
Abyssal,
You can type them all
celestial,
into the same
common,
box.
infernal. So you see some resemblance between the language you see here and also a little bit of infernal, but it's not the same. The words are not the same. You just notice that some of the stylized letters are similar.
these inscriptions seem to be made by the same hand who made the map. I'm fairly confident we are going the right way.
That's good enough for me.
Arthur kind of picks up Kira again.
I mean, this is an adventure. We get lost. It's just more adventure, right?
I do
If you get
believe we are
lost, you
supposed to
go the
render
other way.
aid.
Exactly.
Alright. And then I would start heading in the direction of the two structures are from where the turnoff was. Being on what is presumably Old Slavic Road.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you head towards the two structures, and as you pass betwixt them, all four of you kind of feel a wave of cold just pass over you, as if the mists on the other side of this gate are infinitely more chill than those which you have been walking in all day. And that slight warmth of the sun that all of you have been able to feel just vaguely on the outside of the mists up until then fades completely as you step through them. You are also keenly aware that while the area that you were previously passing through was lightly wooded, it feels like the trees here are taller, older, reaching up, so their gnarled and dark foliaged limbs are grasping at the sky as if seeking out the sun you can no longer feel. And the ground beneath your feet, it no longer feels like dirt. It feels like you are perhaps stepping onto what was once a well trimmed cobblestone pathway that has since seen better days. Several cobbles missing here and there. Every once in a while, your toe catches one and you stumble a bit, but it's nothing so extreme that you cannot right yourself. But it's just a completely different feel. And that gentle quiet that you were feeling previously to entering through here now feels a lot more ominous. Feels a lot more waiting.
And with the mist getting colder and I think seemingly higher and denser, right? Or no? And
It
am I
maintains
misinterpreting?
the same height that it did before, insofar much that you can't really see how far up it's going at this point. The density, however, is becoming a bit more. Where before you could see a good maybe 10, 20 feet out from you on a good time, now you barely see more than 5 feet in front of your face.
Oh wow.
This is ominous.
Seeing that the mist is this bad, is like, well, do we still have everyone here?
I have our troubled friend here.
Kira will quietly use divine sense.
Okie dokie. Make me a constitution saving throw. You
Oh.
probably feel the need to throw up again because you have never felt this level of power and evil around you. And it is just overwhelming, and you feel worse than you ever have when drunk before.
Does Arthur notice Kira's situation getting worse?
Go ahead and make me a perception check. I don't want your fluffy fur to be harmed, but at the same time. Nope.
Oh no. I'm in danger.
Arthur kind of notices it in the last moment and doesn't quite make the angling away without dropping.
Oh, wait a minute. There's also something else in that ability of his.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll mess with DM you.
If it. Oh yeah, no, I already know.
Okay, never mind then.
Yep, I already know, which is
Oh
going to be
dear.
addressed privately. Actually,
Okay.
I gotta type that.
Whenever all this happens, he basically just Kira stops walking and drops down to his knees and turns to the side because even though he's drunk, he's still polite, and then he vomits off to the side.
Okay, then I guess the problem is that Arthur doesn't quite let him drop because he's very conscious of trying to keep him safe and on his feet. Okay.
And
Hmm.
check your Discord for me, please, Kira.
Yeah, I got it.
Do I want to try Divine Sense too?
No, do you?
um, I think he's going to make a query first as soon as Kira seems a bit better, or well. Are you all right? What happened? Would you like some water, perhaps?
You know the funny thing that I'm reminded of by that con save and fail is when Eins und Gold took off the magic detection ring and the mage he was facing just starts vomiting from Overlord.
Yes.
That's kind of what that reminded me of.
Basically, yes.
So, let me see. um, so after Kira finishes throwing up, he will look up to the closest person to him, because obviously he can't see any further than the person that's closest to him, and mentions, "There's evil everywhere here, all around us."
Okay. I guess that would be enough for Arthur to use his divine sense as well.
Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw, Arthur.
Oh boy.
Wait, I can't ping from here? No, I do. I can. Yeah, like that. Okay. So, con save.
Yeah,
Oh,
Arthur, no, the weight of thousands of years of evil presses down upon you. You feel as though its grasp is curling around your throat. You fall to your knees, grasping at imaginary fingers that choke off the air to your lungs. It takes you a few minutes to realize that it's just a visceral reaction. Nothing's actually there before you can
Makes a
gasp.
little yip sound.
You gasp and catch your breath, filling your lungs, but even then the feeling does not go away because the putrid foulness of the mists is entering you. Also, hold on one moment, I have to DM you on Discord.
Kind of has his tail between his legs and his ears flattened back.
Given this trend, I'm so glad I'm not a paladin.
Um, I'm trying to think what Arthur would do with that information. Kind of staring at Nicholas.
Squinting through the fog as he catches his breath.
Yeah. Kind of towards his direction.
Is everyone all right back there? There was a lot of really disgusting noises.
We may want to step up further. We don't really know how far their vomit range can be.
Oh, don't worry, I am stepped as far away as I possibly can.
Further, we should. I'm not sure. Perhaps we should. And Arthur is kind of debating with himself whether it would be better to get away or to press on and help the village. Feeling this level of evil that might be responsible for whatever trouble is getting ahead. I don't think as prepared to help the village as oh dear.
Getting cold feet, or something else on your feet, which we won't mention.
Can you sense this? There's it feels like mist is made of evil. It's you're really not bothered by this.
It's kind of wet, cold.
It's much colder than it was. It's much colder than it was earlier, but no, we're not getting any supernatural
There's something
feelings here.
ancient and evil here. I'm not sure we are prepared to fight it. Perhaps we should turn back and come back with more reinforcements, perhaps. On the other hand, the village is really in need of help. I don't know.
Why, yes, the
Help.
village is also in need of help. I also feel like I could find answers here. So I think I vote that we push forward.
Kira's
And
gonna
hell
crawl up
fucking
on-
yes on that. That's awesome. Sorry. Sorry, that's amazing.
Oh,
Kira's
shit.
gonna crawl up onto Arthur slightly, like on the shoulder, and then give him a little head pat and be like, "Don't you want to help people though? We need to take care of this evil."
That is true.
I guess the question I have for you is how many reinforcements do you have at your disposal? Because I've got like family. I've got a sister actually. We were supposed to meet at the bar, so I hope this doesn't take too long. But it's not like I have an army. I can just go, oh yeah, right, I left my army back, 5 minutes. I'll be right back,
I suppose I could ask for help from my monastery, but I am just barely an initiate. I'm not sure if he would take me seriously, to be honest. This is my first trip outside, and I don't know. You're right.
And
Tell you what. Let's go to the village, hear what they have to say, and if it sounds way over our heads, we'll send word to your monastery. They've got a messenger, so we'll just say, here's the directions. Go and send a letter.
And also, if really needed, I have some contacts I can make to get a message across vast distances if needed. So once we get to anywhere civilized, I could get that message out.
There we go.
as you
Good plan?
guys are discussing
Great
this-
plan.
I honestly did not think I'd be able to use this feature.
Oh, you hope you'll be able to use that feature.
Arthur kind of struggles to his feet, a little more wobbly, and offers a hand to Kira. Shall we try to push on them?
Yes, let's go. And
All right,
he
then.
points forward. Or what he thinks is
Um,
forward. He doesn't actually know what direction he's facing. He just points.
Which is a good point to make. Everybody should
Yeah.
perception check.
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
especially since we stopped and communicated a bit. Perception.
Oh
Alright.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
there we
God.
go. The two not vomiting their guts out.
Kira and Arthur, you're kind of discombobulated because of what just happened to you. You're not sure what's up, down, right, or left to begin with. But Nicholas and Gon, you know which direction you came from, and you know which direction is forward. But you also know that you haven't moved more than maybe 30 feet inside of the gateway, and you can no longer see the looming shadow of it anymore.
Well, the mist is very thick.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have a 5-foot seeing distance.
Yep, 5-foot clear seeing distance. You can still make out shapes beyond the mist. It's not completely opaque, clear white, except behind you in the direction that you've come from. There, it's like a wall of white, swirling mists. And the longer you look at it, Gon, the more you're quite certain that you saw faces in the mist, twisted and contoured in ways that you can only imagine are unspeakable agony and terrifying rage.
Is it like very close to me or very distant?
It is back the direction which you all have come from.
Anyway, let's get a move on. Should get the show on the road already. All right, Nicholas, if you would lead the way a bit faster now, let's all get going.
I don't don't think we should go. Not looking back where we came, just thinking to push forward, but at caution, especially with the very, very poor visibility. I don't know if we really want to go too quickly, especially in this mist and surrounded by woods. And
Tell you what, let's swap. I'll lead the way. Feel free to stand behind me. In case,
and then I'll just announce like we're pushing forward. Don't lose track of us.
don't get eaten by anything in the mist. Or do, but do it noisily so I can run.
Arthur
I don't know if anyone sees us, but Nicholas smirks a little bit.
Arthur kind of tries to navigate by their voices and the feelings he gets, and he makes a pretty good amount of noise just with his armor, so it will be obvious if trouble hits him.
It's like, instead of Marco Polo, it's just like, Marco, clank, 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 Marco!
Or I'm thinking of the super effective comic, shuffle, 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 shuffle. Anyways, should I roll perception or survival to push forward, or?
No, you don't have to roll anything for this. You can feel the cobblestones underneath your feet as you're moving forward, so you know that you are still on the road. You have not veered off of it. And from the perception check that you had before, you know that you are moving in the correct direction as well.
Okay. And I do want to make sure we don't get jumped by anything, because...
Well, if you want to roll a perception check to try and perceive in the mist around you, you may do so. However, it will be at disadvantage if you're looking for beings in the mist. Structures are pretty looming, such as the trees themselves, so you'll be able to see those right off, but smaller, fleeter things.
Especially if Gon's going to push to take the lead, then I'll definitely be looking for any sort of beings that may try to get the jump on us.
Alright, go ahead and roll.
Yeah, he's pretty spooked.
Oh, lovely!
Oh, Nicholas.
There we go. There's my bad rolls. It had to happen
Huge clanking wolf suddenly appears next to you.
So, you're moving at a decently fast clip thanks to Gon's desire to hurry away from things that he noticed that none of the rest of you did. And you're moving forward, and you think you're doing a decent job of looking around, of making sure that nothing is to the side of you, behind you, all around you that might harm you. As you move along the road, you still all feel, especially Kira and Arthur, that oppressive presence, as if the mist itself is heavy upon you. And as he moves along Gon, you do catch glimpses once or twice of those same twisted visages in the mist themselves. But Nicholas, you don't see any of that. You also don't see the root that you suddenly trip over and have to roll dexterity saving throw for to not fall prone in the middle of the road.
Of course.
So,
if I get one more natural one, I'm refreshing roll 20.
So you trip over what looks like a root that is raised out of the roadway that for some reason Nicholas did not, not Nicholas, some reason that Gon did not notice or have issue with. But your foot catches it and you just go sprawling over the roadway in a tumble, causing those behind you who are following at a nice clunky distance to need to make dexterity saving throws. So Arthur and Kira, roll to not trip on the cat.
This is why we're the Scooby-Doo
I
gang.
knew there was a reason I liked Arthur. Arthur does not step on cats' tails.
No, Arthur, in fact, just goes full agility dog mode and leaps over top of him and clanking down on the other side when he notices that, oh shit, the cat's under my feet. He's fine.
To be fair, his mom is a tabaxi. He's used to dodging cats being underfoot.
It's true. He has some natural advantages to this role.
I've
Kira,
also just... Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say something out of game, but yeah, go ahead.
Kira, you also managed to not trip on the cap, but it is a near thing. You like stop and you're teetering on the edge of your tippy toes, like arms flailing wildly in a true drunken master stopping style before rocking back on your heels. But you managed to not step on the cat, who is currently face planted in the middle of the road, completely undignified.
Arthur hurries over and offers a hand to help up Nicholas. You alright?
Yes. Even with my feline vision, I still can't see too clearly here. Thank you very much, and I accept the help to get back up, and I do my best to dust off my nice fitted clothes.
Hey Nicholas, since you're the Velma of the group, where's your glasses?
Fuck off! Fuck off! They are my eyes. That's what. No, but what I was gonna say is I realized we talked about this last session. I have bloodstained dice I made or got especially for Nicholas, and haven't been using them today.
You can use them as long as you post your rolls inside the Roll20.
Which I intend to, and I'm sure I'll still roll natural ones with that because
Probably. Yeah, if anybody has special dice that they're wanting to use for their character, I will allow the use of such, because I can't say yes to one person and no to everybody else. So, if you have special dice that you want to use for these guys, that's a-okay, as long as you post your rolls in Roll20 so anybody watching can see them.
yes. But, all right, so I'll get back up and get back in line or stay behind Arthur, whichever.
Alrighty. So, you guys move forward, catching up with Gon. Gon, did you stop when this happened, or did you just continue onwards?
There's like a voice like 30 feet down the road. What's going on over there? Hey guys, hurry up!
Should I run? Are you dead?
Also, another thing to note, when Gon took over, would they have taken the map or from me?
Nope.
Oh, fun.
Just going down the road, because it's a road. Hopefully if I like step on something that's not road, then I'm like, oops, I'm going the wrong way.
Oh boy. Alright, so you catch up with Gon. Alright, Gon, you have a bit of a heart attack scare as they come lumbering up behind you, because you think for a minute, oh shit, what's this? Oh, it's just them. It's good. It's fine. Everybody, it's fine.
Fine. Alright. And no one's hurt, no one's dead. Good.
No.
Good.
Nicholas does have a smudge of road dirt on his nose, though.
Is there a way for
We're
me to
still
notice
moving.
that? Because I would have tried to clean myself to the best of my abilities.
Oh, you're gonna do the thing where you like lick your little paw and then rub it?
I
Like dig
will
because it's
roll
Nicholas.
a percentile for that, just for you.
Do it.
It'll be 50%. What do we want, high or low for that I do it?
Low, because I think he would not do it on purpose. It would be flusterment.
Yeah, okay, fine, low. Percentile. Fuck, it's a 30.
So you see, as they approach out of the mist, the first thing that your eyes lay sight upon after glimpsing the absolute hunk of wolf that is Arthur Goodboy, is this slightly smaller slim tabaxi coming out, licking his paw and rubbing it across his nose continuously in a furiously diligent manner.
Gon thinks that's fucking adorable, but has the grace to not say so. And also the like sense of self-preservation.
Which you would realize there is a very large glaive on like some sort of back strap that I have as my weapon.
So he puts on a very, very serious expression. It's just like, I'm glad everyone's okay. And turns around and breaks into a big grin.
Yeah, no, my weapon is a glaive that is not concealable. Everyone can easily see it when they were not in the mist.
And it is that sense of preservation that you have Gon, that lets you notice that there are more than just your three companions. There are a couple other moving shadows in the mists around you. And then all of you, hear a low canine growl.
It's not from Arthur.
No.
It wasn't me.
In fact, you're pretty sure whatever that sound was, it sounded bigger than Arthur.
It
I
definitely wasn't
draw
me.
said glaive.
Try your glaive. Anybody else doing anything?
Yeah. Hearing the growlies and the sounds of weapons arming, Kira goes into a trance and pulls out his war pick and shield. Or his shield's attached to him. He pulls out his war pick from the holster on his side.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I'll get a shield out as well. Gun keeps like glancing to the side, like wanting to run, but not wanting to be the one who is not in the group.
So how's all of you ready? Oh, go ahead.
I would like to have a sort of game mechanic question.
Yes.
Can a great sword be held in one hand?
I believe a gray sword is decidedly two-handed. I believe the tag on it is. Let me double check for you.
The way that they
I
always
think
read
for
on the
attacking, yes,
description-
but like if I have natural weapon, would it be possible to just not drop the sword, just hold it in one hand while I use my other hand for? Actually, I think it's my bite that's the natural weapon. Okay,
yeah,
never
I do
mind.
believe your bite's the natural weapon. Yeah, it's a heavy two-handed weapon. You would not be able to hold it only in one hand, at least, and still
Oh,
have
okay.
capability to use it.
Yeah, okay, of course. Okay, well, Arthur draws his great sword as well, and kind of puts on a fighting stance.
Alrighty. So you all do that, and as you're standing there kind of huddled in a group in the middle of the road, you see the mists eddy and shift around you. There are dark bodies darting here and there. They seem to be growing more. They are increasing in number and also size. And Arthur, did that one have tentacles coming off of its back? It's hard to tell in the mist. It could just be the tendrils of it. Who knows? But Nicholas, you are quite certain that you saw a set of 6 piercing yellow eyes all in a cluster peering at you from the bough of that tree over there. And oh god, Kira, even in your trance, you feel the hot breath of something panting ever so near to you, almost as though it's right at the back of your neck. And Gon, you just see your entire party just being surrounded by all of these things, these undulating things in the mists. And you note that there's a lot more of them than there are of you, and they are closing in.
Should we make a run for it? I do believe we seem to be outnumbered.
I'm not against picking up the pace, but we don't want to get lost in this mess either just by bolting for it.
Alright, I guess weapons drawn. Let's get moving. Nice and together. Weapons facing outwards. Everybody good?
I guess so.
Alright, so you guys move forward along the road, and you can very clearly hear the sound of large bodies passing through the mist, creating a whoosh-like effect as they circle around you. And every once in a while, you see a tail or a leg or a grinning visage of some scabrous hound peering out from the mists, and they are following you, circling around you, nagging at your very heels, until you hear far off in the distance a piercing howl that echoes through the trees. And then they fall back. All but one set of glowing yellow eyes that still watches from behind you on the road, even as you move forward. And then you see where you are, because there's another set of walls, another set of gates, smaller than those that you had seen previously, but still looming up out of the mists. And you notice that they're not gates, they're buildings. You've made it to the town.
Ooh.
Alright, more bodies to get between me and wolves.
Also, I want to say this and not interrupt though. Perfect freaking timing with the howl of the wolf
Howl,
and the background noise.
Thanks. You can thank Roll20 for that though. Completely their doing, not mine.
But yeah, so where are we on this map?
I'm popping your little avatars over there just now.
Sweet.
Whoop, did not mean to rotate that one.
1 square is 40 feet. Okay, cool.
And then one more. Where's Arthur Goodboy?
Here.
Why don't I have an Arthur token?
There we are.
Where are we?
To
Oh,
the
Was it-
to the left. To the
Was
left.
the
Yay.
All
token
your characters in the
saved to the
box.
character sheet?
I have
Yeah, I'm
no
just gonna
idea.
pull it over there.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, I don't have control over my character or my token.
Me either.
That's cool. Hold on. I get them for you. Hold on.
I do. Yay. So tiny.
Whew, okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Oopsie.
Got mine.
Oh my lord.
Where's Kara? There you are.
Oh, hey.
There we go. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Excellent. Alrighty. So, you guys, let's see where they're at. You guys just see through the mists the cresting of the houses around you as they break up slightly, falling away from this tiny little speck of a settlement in the middle of the mists. And as you approach the village itself, you notice that the muddy ground and paving stones underfoot give way to more sturdy cobblestones, but they are still slick with mist. The recognizable shapes that you see before you are rather decrepit in nature for the most part, and most windows are dimly lit or not lit at all, a few of them boarded up from what you can see. There is no sound here, except for what sounds like the sobbing of a distressed child.
Arthur would immediately seek out the source of the sound.
Alright, Arthur, go ahead and roll me a perception check to see if you can hear where it's coming from.
Oh dear.
And with your ears pricked forward, you do detect the direction that it is coming from. It sounds like it might be coming from somewhere down the street over in this direction.
Which direction? Sorry.
Straight ahead and to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming up on the town, I would have sheathed my weapon,
This way.
seeing that there's more of a sense of security-ish for what we can kind of call security, if we want to go be as bold to say so. But not in immediate danger or imminent danger of wildlife.
Yeah. Arthur would take point and say, I can hear a child in distress this way. We should check it out. And yes, this way. He kind of takes off and keeps his sword in hand just until he can maybe make out the child.
I'm sure this will be a reassuring
Okay.
sight for them.
In case there's something.
Is the mist still very heavy here?
The mist is actually pulled back a bit. You can see a good 20 to 30 feet in front of you, although it does lurk between the houses rather heavily.
Okay. So I'll be following, but just keeping Arthur in our vision for the most part, or in my vision. But not really rushing either, and just in a sense to not get split up. And yell out like, we don't want to rush into anything we don't know we're running into. So let's at least proceed with caution.
It's a
Arthur,
child. Yes.
your good boy ears know that the sounds of sobbing are getting slightly louder, but they do sound like they're coming from a good distance away. It's just that with all of these houses, it tends to echo a bit. And with the dead silence around you, you know that if there was more life in this town, you probably would not have been able to hear them to begin with. But they are further down the direction you are going. As you pass through the village, you notice here and there that there's a face or two peering through window shutters that promptly shut whenever you move close. Sometimes you can detect the faint wisps of smoke coming from a chimney that is different from the mists around you, but most of the homes tend to be shuttered and dark. And you realize, although you definitely can't be much further past midday, that it is dark here, as dark as though it were almost night.
And then, as I'm following Arthur, I am also trying to keep an eye out of what might be a mayor's house or residence, or some sort of establishment of government. Assuming this is a town of Barovia.
Most of the houses that you have seen thus far look to be quite the same in size until you get to the large intersection where you're currently standing. You see immediately to your right a much larger building that you've seen, but it does not appear to be a official building. It looks more as though it may be a merchant of some kind, or or perhaps just some form of tradesman's hall. Um, it too seems to be shuttered against the dark, but there is a light burning behind the windows. And then just to the north of your position, you see what looks to be perhaps an inn of some kind. There are horse posts picketed out in front of it. No horses currently attached, but there is smoke rising from the chimney, and there is light on the inside.
Okay. I will continue to follow, but mark those in my make mental notes of them and continue to see if I notice anything that would resemble an official building or an official's building.
You continue to make your way down the street, and now everybody can hear the crying, not just Arthur Goodboy. And it sounds like a small child who is currently sobbing in what is identifiably terror.
What direction?
You seem like
Are we
it's
still
coming
heading?
slightly north along the road up here.
Yeah.
And Arthur, as you round that corner, you see very distinctly the form of two small humanoids in nightgowns huddled in the middle of the road, right here.
This way. I call to my companions. Do I see what might have frightened them?
Perception check. So, you don't see a particular threat at this time, but you do notice that they are outside what's probably the best looking house on this street, considering most of the others are either in shambles or completely boarded up. Over here on this part of the city, as you get to this road, it looks like almost all of the houses here are completely either abandoned or they have been ransacked and are currently falling apart. But this house is in fairly decent repair with its own little wrought iron fence. It looks like it might be a noble's house. The doors are wide open, and there are two children in the middle of the road, kind of huddled down, an older one hugging a younger one. The younger one appears to be a small boy, perhaps of the age of 5 or 6, whereas the older one appears that she might be about 10 or 12, and she is currently hugging the younger sibling and rubbing his back and trying to shush him as he cries. But she looks like she may be on the edge of tears as well.
I kind of try to hide my sword, but cast a nervous glance at the open door and slowly approach the children. Please do not be frightened. How may I be of service to you? What happened?
Are you a werewolf?
Arthur kind of, you know how a dog looks when they are told they've done something bad, with like the ears flopping down and the tail flopping down, and he kind of folds in on himself a little bit, trying to look smaller. No, I was born to look like this, from my boyhood. Please, can I be of any help? What happened? Why aren't you... is this your house? Why aren't you inside? This is no time for children to be outside alone.
Well, you see the older girl's kind of stammering, kind of looking you over, clearly afraid of you, but also equally afraid of something else. The younger one is too distressed to really take wolfmen into account as being an even more dire situation, so he bursts out, "There's a monster in our house! and it's going to eat our parents.
Arthur looks back. Uh, who of my companions looks the least frightening at first glance?
Oh, I haven't been looking. I would step to. I don't know.
Like, I
I'd
don't
say
know
Nicholas
how.
until he talks.
I know. I'm trying to think. I would say my character is being quiet, and less addressed to at this point. Seeing that Arthur has essentially taken point, and just still weapon sheath from earlier, and just kind of being very aware of his surroundings, like kind of a head on the swivel sort of deal.
Um,
Kira's still standing there armed, and he's still basically in a trance, so he's probably pretty
Nice.
scary
Just tuck him
looking.
about like on a leash or something.
Hmm.
Kira, we need to just lead him around on the leash while he's in trance mode.
I just
Arthur would.
Nicholas
Arthur
has
would-
accepted that Kira is in a perpetual state of fucked upness.
That's the technical term.
That is
At
very
least he's walking on his
Beautiful.
own now.
Yeah,
Big
even
steps.
drunkards can walk on their own when on occasion. I know, I have done it
Demonstrated
myself.
here.
Oh, dear.
He
Arthur-
wouldn't seem
Arthur
like
would
he's
try
drunk in a
to-
trance.
Arthur would try to keep his distance from the children as not to frighten them further, and ask the most humanoid-looking companion of his.
That'll be Gan or Kira, probably.
Yeah. Then Gan, please.
Yo.
Please look after them. I will check out what's inside.
Oh god, this
And
is some
inside.
responsibility.
Alright, hold on just 1 second.
Are you? I'll step forward. Like I can go. I'll go in there with you. It's best that we don't send anyone on their own. And then,
Or
and
or
then
stand.
make a side glance to Gon. It's like, hope you're ready to be a parent.
Yeah,
And obviously joking.
I also don't think we should leave someone standing in the street on their own in charge of 2 children, just saying.
Arthur is already through the door. It was
Yeah,
open in the
Kira
first
followed.
place.
Alrighty. Hold on one
Walk
moment.
inside.
Oh, okay, I see. Weird.
Yeah, your guy isn't the regular token.
You gotta update, and we can do it later.
Yeah.
And like before, don't have control of that token.
There you go.
We.
Alrighty, so the 2 of you move towards the door. Gon, are you doing what what good boy told you to do in watching the children, or what's Gon doing?
Donna's watching the children, but also watching to make sure that don't leave me.
What is Trance Kira doing?
Transkira followed Arthur into the building.
Oh,
Okey-dokey.
great.
Hold on one moment. Let me get you over there.
as we are waiting for maps to be updated, I feel it is interesting to update. I have a crap ton of dirt under my fingernails from a outdoor music festival, and I'm using a metal D4 to pick out the dirt.
That is an insult to that D4.
It's not. No, it's not the bloodstained one. The bloodstained one was too dull on the edges.
Oh, you
I'm
mean it would
using.
have been if it wasn't dull?
There's already quote unquote blood on them. Dirt's actually an upgrade.
So, Arthur, you leading the charge, you move on to the small enclosed porch that is here at the front of the house, just charging inward. There is a nice wooden oaken door there that is carved with several intricate, delicate patterns that look like they might be crows and vines and mountains, as well as a few crescent moons, one on either side. But you are intent on your purpose, and you push through it into the next hallway, which the door was ajar. And now you find yourself in a long main hallway that is featuring pictures of what look like people on the sides of the walls next to you. They look very old and stern. They are dressed in blackened finery, and there is a large shield depicting a windmill on a red background to your right. It looks like some sort of family crest. You barely notice any of these things, though, as you rush through the hallway towards the next ajar door, not seeing anyone physically in here.
And stepping in, knowing there's a monster in here, I would have my glaive drawn again.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping an eye out for anything.
Alright, everybody left me.
I slow down a little bit at the next set of doors. But keep an ear out to hear perhaps sounds of struggle or fighting.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Sorry. Double. First one.
So you do hear a noise, and it sounds like it may be coming from either the room ahead of you or perhaps another location quite close to there. You peer into the room. That's not what I want. I said reveal, gosh darn you. You peer into the room that's here, and you see a very well-lit, immaculate sort of entrance hall. There is a warm fire in a black fireplace with wonderful bronze workings around the side that look like twisted vines. Over top of the mantelpiece is a large sword that looks quite ornate. And you see several doors peeling off here and there along the hallway, one of which is ajar to the north, and a large staircase that spirals upwards, perhaps to a second store. You had noticed from the outside that the building appeared to be at least 3 stories tall, maybe even with an attic. And the noise that you heard seemed to come to the right as you came in the doorways, perhaps over in this direction.
I go over and check the door.
The door is unlocked.
I stage whisper back behind me, over here, careful, and start to crack the door open, very slowly, and hopefully quietly.
So you crack the door open very slowly and quietly, and let me make this revealed again and see another cozy looking little room, or as cozy as this place can offer. There are several armchairs surrounding a fireplace. Here and there, and it startles you for a moment with how lifelike they are what look like animals, but you quickly realize that they are stuffed and not the source of the noise that you heard. There are several stuffed wolves in this room. There's a cabinet that appears to be ajar. There is a large bearskin rug on the floor itself, and another warm fire crackling in the hearth. No, whatever you heard seems to be coming from one of the armchairs that is currently turned away from you. You see hanging over the back of it what looks like a long, prehensile blue tail.
Oh.
And you hear the sound of what might be growling.
Okay, I'm trying to decide how dumb Arthur is.
Given my angle, I would ask after Arthur opened the door, what do you see? And about that volume-ish. Soft volume.
There's somebody sitting at the armchair. Arthur would step inside and call out, kind of tentatively but easily heard. Is anybody in here?
Is Sives, you there?
Yes, hello.
Check your Discord.
Ha, aha.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So, Arthur just called out into the room that he stepped into, towards the chair that is hiding some beast with a prehensile tail that is quote-unquote growling, and asked if anybody was there.
Mm-hmm. To which, someone sitting in the chair across the room in an armchair by the fire, the farthest one from you, in fact, so slowly lifts their head, and you can see this individual looks, for better or for worse, simply haggard. They don't look particularly bad physically. They're in good shape. Their clothes are not in disrepair, but they look weary. They look exhausted. They look downtrodden, and you can see this by when they lift their head. The shadows, which seem to have been coalescing around that corner of the room, you only just notice them now as they retreat, and the firelight illuminates his figure better. You can see that the figure has blue skin, as blue as a stormy sea sky, and hair, raven black hair, a waterfall of it that cascades, perhaps once tied back. Now it cascades down their shoulders and down their front, and one silver eye peeks out from the mane of hair, and two large, back-curling horns, which fade to black at the tips atop their head. This figure, they sit up, and they turn their head towards you, and they seem to just stare at you for a minute. And you just, there's a strange emotion there. It's almost a flicker of hope with a raising of the brow, and then a sudden dulling of their eyes as they seem to realize something, and they simply sink back down and look back to the floor. They say nothing to you.
Arthur takes a cautious step forward. Hello? Are you are you?
The figure again lifts their head, if only to lift their chin from their chest for how low their head had been hanging, and they say in a low, fairly depressed tone, I'm really not up for anything regarding the mind today. Whatever you're going to do, however you're going to end it, just do.
Regarding the what? Sorry.
Huh?
Regarding the what?
And the figure kind of cocks their head and then leans over the armchair to get a good proper look at you. And they kind of just stare for a few minutes, and then they... Are you... Who are you?
My name is... Oh, excuse me. My name is Arthur Wolf, at your service. We found two children crying outside on the street and came to rescue their parents, but I could only hear sounds from this room, and I don't believe you are their parent. His voice kind of fades away awkwardly. And it doesn't really want to presume, but it's pretty convinced that if the children were afraid of him, their parents might not look so peculiar.
And then the figure goes and kind of looks Arthur up and down, and then looks around the room a minute. And then when they look back to Arthur, their expression is more one of surprise and perhaps shock. And then they suddenly stand up. A clap of hooves hit the floor, and as they stand up, a lashing tail, and you realize their hair was not quite as long as it seemed as it tumbled to the floor. For most of that was a very long tuft of hair attached to the tail, which now whips and lashes as they stand up, and the chair scoots with as they stand up with such ferocity. They whirl around and point at the group and say, "No, get out of here! You need to leave now!"
And right there is when we're going to cut back to the street, where Gon has been waiting patiently this entire time with a set of sobbing children. We're going to go back in time to just a few, maybe 10 minutes prior to this little scene. And you guys are all over there now. Gon, you watched your compatriots kind of enter this house, and it didn't really sit well with you being left in the middle of the street with a bunch of children in the dark, possibly
We're
with a
bait.
monster around. So as you kind of sit there, you kind of look around, and the little boy has stopped sobbing so openly it's been reduced to sniffles, and his sister is kind of hugging him and shushing him as she rubs his back, and she kind of looks up at you and says, Are you sure that your friends can handle this?
Well, let's... Yeah, don't worry, kids. You saw my friends, they're big and they're strong, and they're gonna take care of this. And if they aren't, we're gonna get out of here.
But, and she kind of looks really distressed, and she kind of glances up to the third floor above you. But my little brother's still up there.
Excuse me, what?
He's just a baby. You have to help him.
There's a baby, too? You know? All right, all right.
Surprise, they're triplets.
Not if one's a
Sorry.
baby.
Sorry.
You just maybe should have said something about that a bit sooner. Maybe.
Phillips,
Anything?
I'm sorry,
anything
it's not every
else?
day that monsters try to eat you, okay? And she kind of looks like she's about to cry now, too. And the boy breaks out in a fresh wailing sob.
Shit.
Is there anything else that we should know? Got parents, we got a baby, we got a monster. Is there anything else?
The monster lives in the basement.
Monster lives in the basement. The monster's in the basement! Oh my god.
Well, not anymore,
Okay.
but it lived there.
Oh, where is it now?
I don't know, but we heard screaming from my parents' room.
Okay, where's your parents' room?
Up there, and she points at the 3rd floor.
3rd floor, okay. Monster's on the 3rd floor, baby's on the 3rd floor, okay. Alright. Do you have any relatives or neighbors that you trust to watch you for a little bit?
We don't really leave the house, usually. It's not safe around here. I don't
Yeah,
think
it really
I've been
isn't.
outside in 2 years. My brother has. This is the
Oh.
first time he's come outside the front door, okay? It's not really
Oh.
safe around here. But it's definitely not safe in there.
Holy shit. Alright. Never repeat what you just heard me say. Alright,
Shit, says
so
the little
you...
boy. No.
Alright, so... my god. Alright, I am not qualified
Monster's
for this.
actually a zombie butler named Lurch. Or Cousin It, take your pick.
Alright, let's, I don't want to leave you kids out in the street. You're absolutely right. I don't want to take you somewhere dangerous. Inside is dangerous. Outside is dangerous. So how about the porch?
Okay.
Yeah? Let's go to the porch. Did you say there was like a gate?
Yes, so let me just drag you over to that screen now.
Hooray.
You're the last person to go to the screen, aren't you happy?
I am honored. Wait, that should be the opposite. I'm insulted. Whoa, this is so cool. Alright.
Do I have everybody over there now? Is everybody on that screen?
I can't
I
see.
see the screen, but I don't
Yeah,
see
but it's-
me.
Oh, I haven't put you there yet. I haven't put you on
Okay.
the screen
Okay.
yet. I just want to make sure you can all see the 1st floor of this house. At least the parts that aren't in darkness.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, let me just drag you right over here and drop you. Pop. That didn't work. Try that again. Pop. There we go. Alright, so the porch is this area right here. It's a covered porch, and the front door is right here. This is sort of an archway that you're currently standing in front of.
Okay, so there's no like that's just open.
Yep, it's an open stone archway leading onto a covered porch.
Alright.
Very small covered porch.
And then there's another set of doors up here.
And when you walk through this set of doors to right here, this is an enclosed area that looks like an entrance hall. It is lined with pictures and also with what looks like might be a family coat of arms on a large shield. It's a windmill on a red background.
Ooh. Alright, here's the plan for now, kids. Why don't you wait in here? There's a door on one side and a door on the other side, so you know that nothing can get at you.
And as you step in there, you hear a creak behind you as the front door is shut.
No, the idea, kids, was to be on this side of the door.
And as you go to
It's
jiggle the handle, you notice that the doors are locked. There's a small window, though, made of tinted glass, sort of in a stained glass pattern that you can peer out of, though.
Okay, I will peer out of it.
You see the children, and they're smiling at you and waving as the mists roll up behind them and encompass them, and then you can see nothing but the white of the mists.
Alright, I got a few stronger words that you shouldn't repeat. Let me tell you some nice new words in Elvish that this woman at the bar taught me about your parents.
As you say this to the window, there's a whoomp, and there's a hand that smacks onto the window, making it shudder. And as you look upon the hand, it is gray and desiccated. You can see patches of flaking, rotting flesh. And then whoomp, there's another hand. Whoomp, whoomp, whoomp. There are now several undead hands sliding along the window, jostling the door. It is shaking in front of you.
You're the ones who closed it. God damn. Alright, I'm gonna find a big heavily armored wolf and then you'll be sorry.
As you're calling this over your shoulder and stepping further into the house, you hear Ollie yell yet again. Ollie yell as a recap, because this is happening simultaneously.
You hear Ollie yell, No! No! You can't be here! You need to leave!
Please calm yourself. We came to
Guys, we
help.
need to leave!
To which Ollie looks startled, and the tail lashes left and right, and they kind of like take a step back. More!
Why are you here? I thought I asked you to please stay with the children.
What the hell's
Are they
that?
alright?
Am I alright? Come here, Arthur, come here. I want to show you something.
Looks back at the blue, mostly blue, tailed and hoofed person, and then kind of slowly backs away and follows Gon.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to recap on that in a moment. But yeah, we've got a bit of a problem. I'm gonna point at the door and the window and the hands.
There's no hands there anymore.
What is it?
They did it. They did it to me. They did it to me. They made me look like an idiot. All right, let's have another look.
Tell me what happened and where are the children?
They're outside. The door's shut.
Arthur tries the door.
The door appears to not be able to open. It seems like it might be locked from the outside.
I didn't do that. They did that.
Oh.
Also, you said you sensed a great evil. I have a few ideas about where that may be coming from.
Like?
One of them was small and crying, and the other one was a little bit bigger.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What are the rest of you guys doing while Gon and Arthur come to this realization?
From the start, for very first interaction with this individual, this blue individual, seeing that there wasn't really hostility towards us, I would have still had the glaive in one hand, but on standby, so, just having it to the side, and asking who we were. I would have also introduced myself as well, I am Nicholas. I know that's backtracking a little bit, and then we arrived in town to help, assuming this is Barovia. We arrived in town on a summons by I have the notes, let me look at the notes. Summons by one Mr. Kolyan Indrovich. Or where's the term? The
Burgermaster?
Burgermaster, yes. And we were conscripted to take care of what could only be described as creatures of the nights and other monsters of the sorts.
And as you're explaining this, you see Ollie's shocked and horrified expression, just his brows slowly lower and his eyes seem to dull again, and he just looks more and more and more and more crestfallen until finally, at the end of your explanation, he's practically staring at the floor like an empty shell. And Ollie kind of staggers a little bit and then leans forward to rest a hand on the chair. His other hand comes up to rub at his face in a disbelieving manner, and he just asks quietly, Is there any more? Is there any more of you?
No, it should just be the four of us, though our friend that just came in was, to my belief, supposed to be outside protecting children that said there was monsters in here threatening to eat their parents. But knowing the rumors, I wouldn't even be surprised if they referred to you with people's
Misconceptions.
not conceptions, why am I blanking on it? Ignorance.
And then you see Ollie just shake his head, and he shakes it slightly at first, and then on the note of referencing him, he shakes his head more vehemently, and he says, "No, you don't understand. There were never any children. Sometimes there are, and sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's a dog, sometimes it's children, sometimes it's an old woman. There's never... It's never the same. And if you're all in here, you're never gonna leave."
Well, I cannot speak for how long you have been in here, but for us, it is clearly too early to give up any sort of hope as like that. What can you tell us of this place?
God and Arthur, what are you guys doing?
Like, probably very much still echoing Ollie, just like, there were never any children, and we're never gonna leave this place.
Arthur kind of zoned out and crestfallen heads back towards the rest of
Wait.
team.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me again.
He's walking very slowly. It's very easy to keep up with him, but he's like...
Just grab your tail and trail along behind you like a lost child.
Poor God.
And as you two enter the foyer there, Gon and Arthur, make a perception check for me.
I'm
Oh no.
good at those, supposedly. Now that I've said that, I'll get a nat 1.
Oh, always.
Oh,
No,
okay, never mind.
So both of you, as you step there into the hallway and are about to head back to the room, you notice the door over here at the far side of the room. The handlebar is jiggling ever so slightly, as though somebody is trapped in there. There's a small knock at the door. Very tiny.
Arthur was just about to put away his sword and kind of, instead of putting it away, kind of holds it out to stop Gon from going any further and goes, can you see that?
Yeah, and just the sight of it would have stopped me without need of a sword.
Apologies. And he kind of pulls himself together again, trying to appear smaller than he is and taking up less space, being a less of a bother.
No, don't do that. You're my meat shield.
Author is trying their best to learn reduce person. Or enlarge reduce, just for the sole purpose of reduce. He suddenly has dreams to become an actual Pomeranian.
The
Never!
handle rattles just a little bit more, and there can be heard a small kind of frantic knocking on the other side of this little door.
Arthur kind of, with his back to the wall, kind of inches back to the door.
Yeah,
And
good idea.
calls inside. Is there anybody else supposed to be here? Kind of lost any faith in actual people being in actual danger.
And to this, Ollie kind of looks up at Arthur towards the door, and based on what Nicholas had said last, Ollie almost looks a little sick. Like their cheeks are flush with a dark, deep blue, and they kind of give a little huff and you. Nobody is supposed to be here, and yet here we are.
And then Arthur, still looking at the door and just, he half turned and talking back towards the wolf room above his shoulder, he says, because there is somebody behind that door. Kind of pointing ahead.
Somebody is a bit optimistic.
Is it the door on the right or the door on the left? Ollie asks.
On the right?
And then you see Ollie just wince softly, and Ollie straightens up a bit, because they don't seem entirely confident in their movements or their actions, but they straighten up, and you see that Ollie does have a dagger on his hip and a rapier on the other, but they haven't been drawn, they haven't even been reached for, but now Ollie does. Now Ollie rests a hand on each, and just kind of walks around the chair, and you see now, without the chair blocking, you see Ollie in full, that he's wearing somewhat semi-noble clothes, a mixture of traveling clothes and noble clothes, a vest and tabard, and just a pair of breeches, and just fairly simple clothes that you might see of a sailor or a rogue. And Ollie walks to the door, stepping around the taxidermy wolf, and gestures to the door and says, I don't have the time to explain this, and I don't know how to explain all of this. All I know is you have to get out of here. You won't be able to go back the way you came. The only way is forward. And Ollie just sort of shakes their head and again gestures outside of the room and says, just keep your eyes open. And don't trust anything you see or hear. We should go.
Are you included in this? I have never seen you before in my life. Except
Yeah,
for
Arthur
about-
kind of looks Ollie
just
up and
about
down.
to say, can I roll sense motive on
So that would be
our new
insight.
friend?
Yeah, that would
Or
be
Insight,
insight.
yeah.
Different system.
Also, Sives, check your, Ollie, check your Discord.
He
Cool.
says,
Good.
I didn't say anything, but when they said don't trust anyone or anything you see or hear, that's when I would have incited them quietly.
Alright, so, Arthur, you're a little bit stressed, so you're not really, you're not really in the right headspace to really judge whether he's telling the truth or not, but he definitely seems to think he's telling the truth. Gon, you're freaked the fuck out. There were children, and then they grinned like Cheshire cats, and then there were zombie hands, and you're locked in this house, and there's mist outside, and it's kind of freaking you the fuck out. Plus, what the hell is in that door over there? You can't tell if he's telling the truth or not. You just know you're fucking freaked out. Nicholas, he's this person before you, this bright blue tiefling who's dressed as though they once had a vibrancy of life that you could only hope to know, looks completely and utterly defeated, a hollow shell of whatever he once used to be. But he does speak with a sincerity that rings terribly truthful to you.
And to their questions, while they're making their insight checks, Ollie just responds, maybe once, but I don't know anymore.
I'll just be on the other side of this wall.
And Arthur kind of looks behind him as Gon kind of tries to hide and awkwardly kind of straightens out to look bigger and shield him.
There you go. That's the kind of size I like to see.
Such a good way.
Do I notice? Is there any way for me to notice that there's something going on? Or no, you said there's someone here behind the door.
Yep. So he did draw your attention to the door up there that is currently rattling. The doorknob is rattling, interspersed with small little knocks, as though somebody is stuck inside of it.
I love that mental image of Arthur doing the Ghibli hair poof.
Yes!
I am in love with that mental image right now. But now that there's attention being brought back to what was called the foyer, I would, having a feeling of this. Did you introduce yourself as Ollie yet?
No, he did not. He hasn't given you his name. He's just been telling you, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
He's the half-broken blue tiefling.
Yeah.
He's emo
In
teeth.
spirit.
Having a sense on this person's, I guess, motives for out different system terms. Just calmly and not really even more, with the attention being more focused to what's on happening in the foyer than what's happening right here, and not really being too defensive around this tiefling.
Yeah, and as the blue person gets closer to Kira, you can see him like tighten his hand on his war pick because he's feeling weird right now.
And you see Ollie just has his head down, he's staring at the floor, and he's just waiting for Kira to be the last one to leave.
He'll go ahead. Yeah, we'll walk past you. You can see like the glare kind of from the side as he walks past.
Is he out of his trance now?
No, he's still in it. That's all trance. That's all trance.
Trance glare.
And then you see Ollie step into the doorway after they leave, and Ollie seems very reluctant to leave. He just sort of glances over his shoulder and looks at the room, and he looks out at the others, and he kind of leans out a little bit, looks around, and with a deep breath, he sort of just takes one step out, pauses, and then another, and then he's fully out of the room. And he seems to less than he was before, if possible. So,
The door rattles even harder. It sounds
Ollie,
like somebody scraping fingernails against the other side, and the tiniest form of a whimper can be heard.
Ollie just flinches. He doesn't even look at the door.
Divine sense.
How many times can you cast that?
Go ahead and roll me a
1 plus
Constitution
charisma
saving throw,
modifier.
Gon.
Or that's Kira.
Oh, Kira, sorry. Kira.
Please tell me I'm out of the range.
You're not. It's 60 feet. Oh wait, oh, you mean of the
60 now.
projectile. Well, this time he doesn't throw up, but he does see gray. His entire vision and body just explode in what feels like overwhelming pressure and pain. He falls to his knees as a splitting headache just wreaks havoc throughout his skull. It's pressing in on him harder than it was in the mist itself. You feel two presences this time, but neither of which are coming from behind the door. One of which you already know. It's in front of you. And the other is right behind you.
Oh, shit!
Oh, fine.
Alright.
Arthur takes one look at Kira and goes,
And you are prone for
What?
the next minute, just so you know.
Oh,
what?
no. I hope we don't start combat, or else it'll be a 4-player combat as someone just slides on the ground.
Yeah, that headache, by the way, brought him out of the trance.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
He's-
can't see.
And
And
you
he's
see
drunk again.
He's not drunk anymore.
And you see Ollie just looks down at Kira, and they don't seem startled at all. They just look down at him, and all you see is pity.
Oh, my character's gonna love Ollie.
What's amazing is that Ollie was a lot more like gone before all this shit.
Yeah.
Him and Gon would have gotten along so fucking well,
Kindred spirits.
basically.
Alright, I'm gonna.
Arthur checks on.
I might even
Kira.
look back and like, oh yeah, that's Kira I know and I'm familiar with.
All I'm picturing in my head is that commercial. One of them motioning to Gon, "This is your brain," and then motioning to Ollie, "This is your brain on Death House."
Oh, shit.
Oh god. I mean, not wrong.
All right, so Kira's prone for the next minute. What y'all doing?
I'll look back to the tiefling. Almost completely not even recognizing Kira's state. And it's like, do you have any inkling as to what could be happening right now?
And you see Ollie looks up at Nicholas, and then his eyes flicker from the door to the tabaxi to the door, and then staring at the door for the first time since he's entered the room, he just says, "No. The only way to find out is to open it."
I've got an idea, actually. But I don't want to go by myself. Someone come to the door with me. It'll be fun.
Ollie
Uh,
kind of
I'll step forward too.
inches to the side and gives Kira some room and looks at Kira and just
Alright, I have 5 feet of blind sight. Can I sense what is on the other side of this door?
So
Or
blind
rather-
sight, I don't believe can go through solid walls. I think you would have
Behind total cover. Okay.
to. Yeah, it is a shut door. There's not any gaps or anything.
There's no gaps under the door? That's
No.
not a living creature beyond there.
I will I just stepped back that way because with my glaive I do have the range as if I was 5 feet closer essentially.
You do
So
know.
I have
You do know that the
There's-
door opens outwards.
okay.
Well, the good news is that I didn't sense anything. The bad news is that I didn't sense anything.
and you see Ollie just lifts a hand and rubs his face again. He says, "I told you, you don't understand how this works.
Yeah,
It's
no, I'm new
never.
here.
And then Ollie just stares at Ghana.
You death trap,
And-
who dis?
I'll step forward then, saying that we have to take action if we want to get out of this house, and that's the only way being forward. And before grabbing at the hand, I'll look back. Like, so shall I open this door now, or wait till
Hold on.
he remains
go.
as useless as he is being right now? Or no, not he. Or should I open the door now, or wait for our volunteer meat shield to be as useless as he is now when he's able to stand?
Oh god, you gotta read that. Read that in the Ollie voice. Do it, do it, do it.
Ollie looks up at Ghana with a somewhat startled expression. He hasn't experienced sass in a really long time. He whispers, almost tearfully, "Touché."
I love Pete.
I have an idea that I could try, but I want to run it by the DM because I'm not sure if it works again through a
Sure.
wall.
Come on,
But
give
I
it to
have
me.
this thing. I have this thing called Booming Howl.
Let me look at it. It's in your character sheet, right?
I'm gonna ping it. Did ping? Yeah.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
Ooh.
I wonder if it would help if I went up right to the door, did the thing, or we opened it, just in case.
Okay, so yes, you can definitely do that. If there was anything in there, it would be affected. But anybody within 5 feet of you is also going to be affected.
Each square is 5 or 10?
Each square is 5.
Okay.
Just stay back. I'm not sure it's a good idea to open the door without preparation, so I would like to try something. If you could step back a few feet,
All right, by all
Nicholas,
means.
please.
What's the DC on that, by the way, just so I know?
DC for this is 8 plus 2 plus 2. 12.
How is that, Arthur?
So, Constitution modifier. Wait, let me check. That's 3. 13.
Okay.
13. Yes. Okay, for the DC. Come on, right. For DC 13.
Okie dokie.
Oh!
So Ollie's, sorry, not Ollie. Arthur's howling voice booms out, nearly deafening the 4 of you and shaking the rafters a little bit in its intensity. There's a collective groaning of timbers. Sounds quite eerie in nature, honestly. And then complete silence. The door stops rattling.
My dear gods, you wolfman, you could have at least given us some warning. Having
I did say to
way
stand
more.
back.
Stand back, my ass! The more warning was obviously fucking needed, seeing way more emotion than you've ever seen out of
He's all
him.
puffed out. His tail is like fucking bottle brush.
The Ghibli poof.
The Ghibli poof.
Arthur hides a very, very tiny smirk. And then tries the door.
The door opens to reveal a closet. Inside the closet, you see a number of cloaks just on the ground. There's a hat on the shelf above your head. A couple of them look like they might be moldering, and you do detect a flutter of movement underneath the cloaks. What might be Looks like it might be like a breeze or a draft.
Poke it with my sword.
Poke it with your sword. Nothing happens.
Kind of nudge the cloak away.
And as you nudge the cloak away, if you could go ahead and okay. As you nudge the cloak away, you feel a whoosh of air just above your head, and everybody else sees as the hat that was on the shelf takes flight and attempts to, but just misses, clamping down on the head of Arthur Goodboy as the Mad Hatter attacks. And that's where we're going to end it for the evening.
Oh no! Fucking hell. Oh dear. That was awesome.
I hope you guys have enjoyed yourself this evening. Thank you for any of our watchers who are out there. We greatly appreciate the views, and also we hope we were quite entertaining this evening. Now we are going to take a 30-minute intermission. I will be back in about 30 minutes for the second Strahd stream of the night for Strahd Sundays. And we are going to be playing Barovian Nights with two of our players from this campaign. We'll have Ollie's player and Nicholas's player reprising themselves in two different characters in our next campaign with two very different personalities from what you just witnessed.
Oh yeah.
But from all of here at Curses Also Maybe Vampires, we thank you for watching, and we will see you every other Sunday for the foreseeable future until everyone dies. Okay, good night.
I believe the next one's the third, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. It is the third. Good night.
Night!